Okay, here comes Professor Q, folks. Now, I'm encouraging you throughout these bits to stop the rewind, go back and hear what it is that I'm reading about. Professor Q on occult knowledge as the key to power. Quote, I love these quotes. The theory of aggregate production, which is the point of the following book, nevertheless can be much easier adapted to the conditions of a totalitarian state than the theory of production and distribution of a given production put forth under conditions of free competition. That's a quote by John Maynard Keynes, Keynes, from the foreword to the German edition of the General Theory, September 7th, 1936. Throughout history, secure ruling elites arise through secret or occult knowledge, which they carefully guard and withhold from outsiders. That's you. And me. That's why you need the voice of reason sitting behind the camera to expose it all. The power of such elites or cults diminishes as their occult knowledge is transferred into scientific knowledge and vanishes as soon as it becomes common sense. Before analysing the secrets of the finance capitalist money cult, let us glance for historical perspective at occult astronomy, the oldest source of stable rule known to man, of which astrology is but the pathetic remnant. As soon as men abandoned the life of wandering tribal hunters to till the soil, they needed to predict the seasons. Actually, he's kind of got it there wrong, because they're coming from the evolution side of things, but, you know, we'll get over that. The point is, that's what Enoch, that's the not. Remember the question you had through the YouTube this morning, what about Enoch? Well, Enoch was shown the seasons, the dates, that's, you know, his year that he spent in the heavenly realm, being given all of the knowledge, was to go back and teach the sons of men about the seasons. So, anyway, such knowledge was required in order to know when to plant, when to expect floods in fertile valleys, when to expect rainy seasons, and so on. Months of back-breaking work were wasted by the unavailability of the calendar, a convenience we take for granted. The men who first studied and grasped the regularities of sun, moon, and stars that presage the seasons had a valuable commodity to sell, and they milked it to the fullest at the expense of their credulous fellow men. The occult priesthoods of early astronomers and mathematicians, such as the designers of Stonehenge, convinced their subjects that they alone had contact with the gods, and thus they alone could assure the return of planting seasons and weather favourable to bountiful harvests. The staging or predicting of solar and lunar eclipses was particularly effective in awing the community. Now, awesome. The general success resulting from following the priesthood's tilling, planting, nurturing, and harvesting timetables ensured the priesthood's power. Today's Christmas holiday season continues the tradition set by ancient priesthoods who conducted rituals on the winter solstice to reverse the retreat of the sun from the sky. Their invariable success was followed by wild celebrations. Popular knowledge of seasonal regularities was discouraged by every manner of mysticism and outlandish ritual immanageable. Failures in prediction were blamed on sins of the people and used to justify intensified oppression. For centuries, people who had literally no idea of the number of days between seasons and couldn't count anyway, cheerfully gave up a portion of their harvests, as well as their most bountiful daughters, to their faithful servants in the priesthood.
Beautiful daughters, I think.
Beautiful. That's what I said, wasn't it?
Bountiful.
Didn't I say bountiful harvests? Beautiful daughters?
No, it doesn't matter.
Oh, well, anyway. Hence, the tithing, the biblical tithing, the giving up of the 1/10, the tithing to the...
Now, I think I might keep that one. That sounds like a good idea.
To the likes of Benny Hinn. Oh.
And Benjamin Blake.
Oh, quiet. The power of our finance capitalist occult.
B-L-A-I-K.
The power of our finance capitalist money cult rests on a similar secret knowledge, primarily in the field of economics. Our power is weakened by real advances in economic science. Fortunately, the public at large, this is in brackets, fortunately the public at large and most revolutionaries remain totally ignorant of economics. However, we established money lords have been able to prolong and even reverse our decline by systematically corrupting economic science with fallacious and spurious doctrines. Through our power in the universities, publishing and mass media, we have been able to reward the sincere professorial cranks. Get a lot of that? Professorial cranks? Those professors who are paid, what?
400 a year.
Grand a year to teach in universities, medical schools, science. Was it professorial cranks whose spurious doctrines happen to rationalise...
Professor David Cooper, for example, on the AIDS cure in New Guinea.
Totally.
St Vincent's Hospital.
Totally. Okay. I'll run it by them again. Professorial cranks whose spurious doctrines happen to rationalise in terms of common good the government-supported institutions, laws and economic measures upon which our money powers depend. Now, Keynesianism, meaning John Maynard Keynes, whatever I just supported, okay, he's an ism now, is the highest form of phony economics yet developed to our benefit. The highly centralised, mixed economy resulting from the policies advocated by Lord Keynes for promoting prosperity has all the characteristics required to make our rule invulnerable to our twin nemesises. Real private competition in the economic arena and real democratic process in the political arena. Yeah, stop the tape and run that by yourselves again. Laissez-faire or free market, classical economics was our original attempt to corrupt economic science. Its beautiful internal consistency blinded economists for many years to the fact that it had virtually nothing to do with current reality. However, we are so powerful today that it is no longer possible to conceal our imposing institutions with the appearances of free competition. Keynesianism, yeah, right, that guy, that dude, rationalizes this omnipotent state which we require, while retaining the privileges of private property on which our power ultimately rests. Although the interim reforms advocated by Marx in his Communist Manifesto, such as central banking, income tax, and other centralizing measures, can be corrupted to coincide exactly with our requirements, we no longer allow Marxist movements major power in developed countries. Our coercive institutions are already in place. Any real steps towards communism would mean our downfall. Of course, phony Marxism is an excellent ideological veil in which to cloak our puppet dictators in underdeveloped areas. Secondarily, the power of the lords of money rests on an occult knowledge in the area of politics and history. We have successfully corrupted these sciences, although many people are familiar with our secrets through such books as 1984 by the disillusioned George Orwell. Few take them seriously and usually dismiss such ideas as paranoia. Since real politics is motivated by individual self-interest, history is viewed most accurately as a struggle for power and wealth. We do our best to obscure this self-evident truth by popularizing the theory that history is made by